Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars of Keeve YouTube channel. As you see before you, we have a smorgasbord of all of the cheaper big box style pressure washers that are kind of available in my area, which is going to be Home Depot, Lowe's, and actually Amazon. It was $109 for the Craftsman, $99 for the Greenworks, $99 for Ryobi, and then this Westinghouse was $109. They'll do the job to help you clean your deck around the house if you don't want that more expensive gas pressure washer. But car washing is what this channel is about, and that's how we're going to test them. Craftsman overall is just, to me, is the best overall shape. The handle with this electrical cord storage. These little notches allow you to wrap the electrical cord around it. The Westinghouse comes with a 15 degree and a 25 degree, the orange and green, plus a turbo nozzle. But there's no storage for the turbo nozzle on the device. On the Ryobi, you have storage for the turbo nozzle and a 15 degree orange. On the Greenworks, slightly different approach. White 40 degree and the turbo nozzle. And then on the Craftsman, you have the 40 degree as well. And then also a turbo nozzle. They all have 35-foot GFCI cables. But one thing I want to point out, the other three basically look the same. The very glossy style cable. But the Craftsman has a kind of a matte finish on this cable here, and I actually like this a lot better. It's slightly more flexible. It coils better. The other ones, the glossy cable is very stiff. Now for the majority of these, the input and the output are in the same spot. The Craftsman has the inlet on the side here, and it's about the same as all these, but the output also is on the back side. On these, the output is on the front, and these are all 14 millimeter M22 fittings. The Westinghouse has a slight advantage over the rest because it actually already comes with a metal wand extension and M22 at the end of the gun. The trigger pull, it's got some tension on it. Just overall not bad. It's not thick and really claddy. The Greenworks and the Ryobi, literally, it's the same gun. As you can see, a lot of these share the same parts. You can see there's some foam cannons that are very similar here too. They're both the same tension. They both have the same wand with the stupid plastic adapter here, but I have a piece that you can buy from Amazon that will help shorten these guns up too as well. Now the Craftsman has the same wand as well, but it's actually slightly thicker. Just overall just seems a little different, but the adapter that's being used looks to be the exact same as well. The Craftsman, as you can see, it looks like an alien space gun, but the trigger, oh yeah. Do you see that? It just kind of pushes up, but to do that, and then when it's in your hands, it's more ergonomic. See that? It fits really well. Like, I feel no tension at all. Foam guns. The Craftsman and the Ryobi literally share the exact same foam cannon. They are both vertical, so it will spray an up and down pattern like this, which is what we want. The Greenworks is different, as it feels like the hole on the inside is much smaller, so I think it might foam a little bit better. But it is on a horizontal, so it's going to spray its foam like this, and it is not adjustable. These are all about 500 milliliters. The Westinghouse, though, is slightly different. It has a 360 degree where you can change it to any angle you want to spray at. It also has a max and min nozzle at the top, and it has a metal quarter-inch quick connect on the end. These rely on the crazy plastic adapter fitting. The Greenworks hose, which has a very fabric type feel, like a fabric weave around whatever tube is on there. These are all 20 to 25 foot hoses. The Ryobi, they really shortened and made their diameter of their hose much smaller. It's very tense, but it's more of a satin type finish. But that Craftsman is basically this hose with an outer piece on it, so it's probably slightly more durable. The Westinghouse hose is basically kind of that, but it's just black, and it's lighter for sure. I'm actually going to give these away. You're like, give them away? Yes, I will be on the EC Details podcast, Eddie Cologne, on the 18th of April, which will probably be 1 week after this video goes out. And on that podcast, I'm going to give away at least 2 of these, if not 3. This adapter is the same configuration for all of these. So it snaps in and then you turn it to get it in there. And then now you have a much shorter gun. For the Westinghouse that's already an M22 fitting, we have this right here. This is an M22 14 millimeter to a 1/4 inch quick disconnect. So you can take this and take it and add it to the end here. And now you can make this gun shorter. Now, based off experience and all the knowledge that I have on these types of units, I know the two nozzles that we're going to be looking at are the 2.5 and the 3. And Ridgewasher was kind of the first to come out with these cheap nozzle guards. Well, I tried the fixed fans ones because I gave my other ones away to friends. These are even better. These also come with a 25, 15, and 0 with the 40 all at the same price for 20 bucks. The first thing I would expect to replace would be the hose. This is an Uberflex 35-foot hose. They also have a 50-foot version as well. But a lot of people don't need 50 foot of hose. 35 foot is more than sufficient to do almost any car, and it's 35 bucks. So that's much cheaper. 14 millimeter, it's the exact same thing as the stock hoses, just a better hose between the connections. Next thing I would suggest is a spray gun. Now, the spray gun right here is only $20 on Amazon. It has an N22 swivel at the bottom and a rubberized 1/4 inch quick disconnect. A very good form factor. The tension is, it's not MTM tension, obviously. Then something I actually would spring a little bit more for is a really good foam cannon. Now, there's plenty of foam cannons out there at 10, 15, 20 bucks, but this is about $27. This is at the Bear Force. Just think, overall, the overall package here is worth the price. Now, they all have a 3-year limited warranty, and they all have basically like a 90-day commercial warranty. I don't know how you're going to prove somebody used it for commercial use or residential use. Well, that's the overview of the devices. Not a whole lot going on here. These are very straightforward devices: foam cannon, hose, spray gun, and the unit. We're going to see what they do. But first, check out the links in the description below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to testing. So here's our little test area. Those of you who haven't seen before, this is basically a bucket. We spray water in the bucket for exactly 1 minute. The bucket's already tared out to 0. So whatever the weight is, we convert that to gallons. That gives us our gallons per minute. The Craftsman is hooked up to our electrical, which I actually have an amp meter as well, so I'll be able to see how many amps that's pulling. We have our input. As you can see, the Craftsman comes in on the side here, but the output for this is coming out the back. So if you want everybody to see that Craftsman logo, obviously, if you're washing the car, you're more than likely going to be turned this way. No leaks, not expecting any leaks from any of these. They're all very hand tight, no tools needed, no Teflon needed for these type of connections. Does have a slight ramp down to stop, but on these type of units, those pressure switches are normally like that. And a little bit of at the end, but not bad. No squeaking, no clicking sounds. My knees just can't handle that squatting, so I'm going to sit on the stool. Almost 45 years old, so the knees are getting weak. But let's try here. About 1,525 PSI. Now, when I do my testing, my PSI is always slightly lower than everybody else, and I don't know why. But it's usually 50 to 100 PSI less. Could be the water, could be the electrical circuit. All right, let's check out flow. We are zeroed out. We have our stopwatch here. And actually, during that, we did get up to 1550. It was just steadily climbing up and climbing up. As these get broken in, they tend to perform a little bit better over time, not significantly. It wound up being 1.0832 GPM. So we're kind of expecting 1.2, but we got 1.08. Stock amps were 12.02, so very low. Let's change out our nozzle to, let's say at 2.5. 2.5 is going to nail you out about 1100 PSI. 3.0 nozzle. 3.0 nozzle is going to net you about 900 PSI. So on the 2.5, the amp is about 10.25. And on the 3.0, the amps was 9.4. So very good load numbers. If you were using these like with a generator or something like that, it's a very low amount of electrical usage. So now let's check the flow on the 2.5. 1.28 gallons per minute. Here is the 3.0. 1.37 gallons per minute. So we got the Greenworks. As you can see, water input through the back, the output through the front. We have the adapter in. One thing I do want to say about the adapter on just about all of these, it's very hard to twist it. It gets pushed all the way in, you push it all the way down. Sometimes a pair of pliers will help get that all the way secured so it doesn't pop out. We have the 40 degree from the Greenworks in here. That's definitely not as loud and a more soothing sound is the word. Stock PSI. 1600 PSI, so we're only 100 PSI off of the 1700. As I suspected, slightly higher than the Craftsman at 12.7. That comes out to 1.14 gallons per minute. So let's check out the PSI on the 2.5. Like 1125 PSI, so very close to the Craftsman. 3.0. 915 PSI. So on the 2.5 the answer was 11.2, which is a full amp more than the Craftsman for about the same numbers. On the 3.0 we're at 10.2. Here's the 2.5. That's 1.30 gallons per minute. So here's the 3.0. 1.416, so 1.42 gallons per minute. Here's the Ryobi, once again, no leak. We have the accordion hose here. Orange tip is a little bit too strong out of the box for a car, I would think. You can stay with a 25 or a 40, really. 15 is good for wheels and tires, though, and like cleaning concrete, stuff like that. Yeah. That sound right there would make me not want to buy it. That sound. So check the Ryobi pressure. About 1650. So it's saying 1800, so we're off, but we're not that far off. 1650 is not bad. The sound is, though. Yeah, I don't like that. Boy, Ryobi is really pushing it to get that 1650 to 14.4 amps. That is way up there. Here's the stock nozzle. 1.16, so 1.12 gallons per minute. Here's the 2.5. 1115 PSI. 3.0 is dead on 900 PSI. 2.5 was 11.5 amps, and the 3.0 was about 10.6 amps. This is 2.5. 1.31 gallons per minute. Here's the 3.0. Comes out to 1.404 gallons per minute. So now we have the Westinghouse. This one uses a slightly different adapter, like I showed before, N22 to quarter-inch quick disconnect. Now Westinghouse comes with a 25 degree stock nozzle. Wow. Sound isn't bad, but it's a really prolonged stop. Kind of disappointing only holding 1425. Some of these companies, when they send different degrees, they'll give the orange one slightly more PSI. 1725 PSI. A little over 13 and 13.15 for the orange one, which was around 1700 PSI. The green one was around like 1400 or so PSI. It was running just 12.1. Comes out to 1.205, so 1.21 gallons per minute. PSI on the 2.5, 1160. 960 PSI. 9.6 amps on the 2.5 and 10.7 amps on the 3.0. Here's the 2.5. It's 1.325, so 1.33 gallons per minute. And we were approaching like almost 1200 PSI there for a second, like 1185. Here is the 3.0. So we're about 950 PSI. Comes out to 1.416, so 1.42 gallons per minute. Pretty much in line with the Greenworks and the Ryobi, but at a higher PSI at 950. So we're going to use the Westinghouse first for the foam. So I put incredible size 32:1 dilution in here. This is what I would put in any foam cannon. Now a lot of people are going to say, hey, you should have put straight soap. But if I have to put straight soap in here and waste that much, then I don't want to use this anyway. I was expecting better than that. Now we're not going to run 1.25 in the Bear Force foam cannon with these, but I did check them. The 1.25 is dead on. It's a 1.25. Their 1.1 is actually 1.07. So this should foam really well. We're just going to check the amps to make sure that it's safe. We have it set up through the quarters quick disconnect. Like I said, 32-to-1 Incredible Suds. This should foam awesome. Incredible Suds is amazing. Cars with Key will save you 10%. Cleans really good as well. I'm expecting really good results with a 1.07. That's what we're expecting. Really good foam right there. Very safe at 11 amps. We're going to use the 3.0 nozzle guard one right here to show you kind of how it rinses off. Here's the Greenworks, and to use their foam cannon, it just goes in kind of like that adapter does at the end. Well, that kind of puts it out like it's a pressurized soap. Kind of like at the self car wash. So the Greenworks with the Bear Force with that 1.07. Now that's more like it. Here's the 3.0 to rinse. Forgot to mention that was a very safe 11.2 amps. So here's the Ryobi. It's not very good. I'm shaking it up just to get it to perform okay. Yeah, that's not good at all. So here's the Bear Force with that 1.07 on the Ryobi. That's what we're talking about. 12.22 amps, so very safe. Here's a 3.0 nozzle guard. So here's a Craftsman, and weird thing is this is basically the exact same foam can as Ryobi. As you can see, just horrible. Craftsman with the Bear Force on that 1.07, and trigger on this is way better. That's pretty good. So all these are going to be about the same. Almost all these type of pressure washers on a 1.1-ish, 1.07 or 1.12, whatever they're going to wind up being, they're all going to do pretty decent. And that is exactly 11.0 amps. Here's the rinse off with that 3.0. I gotta say, this stock gun is way easier to control with that trigger and just the grip feel that you have. I don't feel like getting away from me at all. I don't feel any fatigue. That's one really good feature about the Craftsman. So in the end, what am I choosing? I think you're going to be surprised. I'm going to choose the Craftsman. And why is that? Well, the ramp down's kind of weird, but I'm not going to be using it all the time. I'm using it to test. It had the lower of the GPM numbers, which means I'm going to have the lower end of the performance to test foam cannons with 1.1 orifices, spray guns. It's also the only one that has an input on the side, which allows it to be more configurable in a wash cart or configurable in my wash build. So don't forget, on the EC Details podcast, April 18th, 2024, about a week from when this video launches, we will have a giveaway for 2 to 3 of these at least. So it'll be live like 6, 7 Eastern time. So don't forget to check out the links for anything in the video below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Well, I have 4 in it, but obviously we're going to dive out. But obviously, but the Craftsman seems to, God damn it. Stop. Jeez. Anything in the video, don't forget to check the like. 9.6 amps on the, 9.6 amps on the, oh my gosh. Oh, my knees. And 10.7 amps. 9.6, oh my God. And it was 10.7 amps. Oh my gosh. Didn't empty
You didn't empty the bucket, you dumb guy.